There, this is Coach Jay, and today we're going to talk about how to use AI for content and it not sound robotic. I know that's one of the things that a lot of women struggle with is that, I want to use AI. I just don't know that I use AI, or it's just something that messes with me and, learns and all these different things. But most importantly, that I hear all the time are individuals that always talk about how they don't want to sound robotic. They don't want to sound like AI. And so this is the whole thing. I want you to start being real comfortable with using AI as a strategic partner. Okay. As a woman who has been able to coach so many women and also work with them on different strategies, on helping them with cultivating their audience, and then also to strategically place different suggestions and high level recommendations for them to actually grow their business and position their offers for really, really strong outcomes. That when they talk about their offers, when they are putting their offers out there on social media, that they're actually getting traction, they're actually getting results, right? So if your AI is sounding, well, to you anyway, if it's sounding dry, if it's sounding really detached, even sounding like everybody else, then we have to kind of take a step back, and it's not really AI's fault. It's probably the prompt. Some of us are really, really general with our prompts. Sometimes it's the structure of how we are speaking and how we're putting things out there. So for example, I usually go live right on my YouTube channel. And I go live on YouTube because I'm going off of the normalcy for me, which is the energetic output that people put in the comments, or they watch the video and then all of a sudden I kind of feed off that because I respond, right? I respond to comments, I respond to people's input. I think it's very important though. But every now and then it's also good to post videos because people may not have time to listen to me yap on YouTube for an hour and a half. So, but so ChatGPT, or Gemini, whatever system I choose, which is usually ChatGPT first, and then I use Gemini as a secondary. People love Claude and all these others, and that's fine, but those are my preferences. That most importantly, no matter what system you use, you need strategy. You need strategy 100%. And so we're going to talk about how that AI and making AI create content for you that is actually going to sound like you, that is going to sell like you, and you really need to sell, right? You need to close clients, you need to close, sales from your digital product business if that's what you're doing. And also scales your business, y'all. You got to learn how to scale without sounding robotic. Okay. So the biggest thing too is that a lot of women that I'm coming into, and it's getting better. I think it's getting better, but most of the women that I come into, that I run into online and having conversations with them via, Facebook, via threads, etc. A lot of them have a concern about sounding too robotic, right? When they are doing content, especially writing content. And a lot of them say that, I want to sell things like GPTs so it can sound like me. I just don't I see everybody is trying to do it and I really don't know how to do it. And this is one of the biggest reasons. I'm going to insert this here just so I can know, I created a GPT. So a GPT, I actually created several GPTs, but the one that I just created is called the Expert Builder, GPT Builder. So it's to help women learn how to build their own GPTs to sound like them. So even when you are creating your own content, like you can build a GPT just for yourself. You can build a GPT for your clients. You can build a GPT for your community to use for free. You can sell different GPTs. It's totally up to you. And you can see in the description box down below if you definitely want to take a look and see if that'll help, because I know that a lot of women are looking for different options of how they can serve their communities with AI human first type of approach to their audience, because I still believe in human first. We're going to go into another video, but I want you to think about how we utilize AI in order to write our content, how we use it to expound on different topics that are important to us, and how we use it to even assess our analytics, look at some gap analysis and all of that good stuff. So I don't tell ChatGPT, write me a threads post or write me, this. No, I actually, and I got my notes here. I actually tell ChatGPT or Gemini, here is my voice, right? And of course you can use the custom instructions, which is something I highly recommend. And it's also very important that if you do get the expert GPT builder, it's going to tell you exactly how to do it, because no one can take from you the way you sound. No one can take from you. No one can steal from you from the way you talk. So it's very important that you tailor ChatGPT to sound like you. Nobody can take that away from you. So I always say, like, here's my voice. This is the approach, right? Here's talking to. Here's an ideal client, right? And then I'll say, here's the problem that I'm solving at this moment. Now, generate 2 to 3 variations of this type of post for this specific program that make her feel seen and sold, right? Now, this is where, AI can take away that whole like, I feel like I always got to come up with content. When I hear women doing that, I'm like, y'all use chat, like use chat. The amount of women that I still hear and see still using things, from scratch, or using, trying to come off the cuff, and I don't know what type of brownie points you want from that, but you're really burning yourself out, because you're still trying to prove to the world that you would rather struggle rather than leaning into some of these concepts and just use the thing for your own benefit. So if you're still writing out your reels, you're still writing out your shorts and your TikToks from scratch every single day, like, you don't have a creativity problem. You really actually have a systems problem, because I'm gonna tell you this: you need to employ some type of buffer.com. I use Metricool. Like, I use systems that's going to help me schedule content. Now, if you are one of the ones who are saying, well, I don't have funds to be able to, purchase this, I just, my job and this and the third. First of all, you need to learn sales and marketing, because your business should be funding this stuff. And I say that with all the love and shade in the world, because I'm going to tell you this: if you don't have money to invest in systems and invest in yourself, you need to go and learn first how to sell and how to market. You don't need a system right away. You need to learn how to sell and you need to learn how to market. Amen. Okay, let's move further. So, anywho, when it comes down to systems, that's very important, because you can train the systems, you can have your content scheduled in there, have ChatGPT to write out the captions sounding like you. That's very, very, very important. So this also kind of feeds into your bottom line. You need to be able to have your office ready for people to come in, right? So a lot of women, and I have a few reasons why I hear, when women say that, I just don't trust AI. I just, kind of, a lot of women fear losing their voice, like literally and metaphorically. They don't want to lose their voice, because their voice, they worked hard to get it. Women as as a whole, we have definitely worked hard to earn our right to speak what we want to speak. We want to talk the type of topics that we want to talk about. We want to be able to engage with our audience the way we want to. And I think many of these women, they spent so many years fighting for their right to be heard in male dominated spaces, especially in corporate America. and in society, period. Being misunderstood online sometimes is frustrating, and hiding behind perfectionism just to sound like a credible person. They finally got their rhythm, and you got AI coming in. They don't want AI to take it away from them, but this is about trusting oneself and understanding your voice signature. You really need to lean into that. And voice signature, it sounds exactly what you think. Having a signature voice where people will be able to pick up what you're saying. And no matter if someone's trying to sound like you, they can say, wait a minute, this person almost sounds like this person. Because I've been following her and she's always talked this way. People can pick up on it. But ChatGPT, and I'm saying ChatGPT in, for lack of a better example, because ChatGPT was the original girly in AI, like the way we use it now. And I do recognize that there are other AI tools that we use, like Siri and some of these others, but ChatGPT was the first of its kind to kind of enter into the space. Number two, so the first one was fear of losing a voice, and then number two is fear of replacing their creative power. Now, that was one of the ones I was actually afraid of when I first kind of got started with AI on that serious level. So they've been taught, women have been taught that working hard and being more hands-on and being in the room and having a seat at the table and producing everything from scratch equals value, equals worth. And so here comes AI telling us that we can automate this and we can scale like this and we don't even have to. And so what they hear is you're not needed, especially for women who tie their value to effort over outcome. Okay. Some women are much more okay with exhibiting effort than getting firm outcomes. They would rather work for results instead of getting results, right? So what can I do to collapse the amount of tasks that I do and the time in order to get it done? It's very important. So, it doesn't replace really, creativity. It replaces repetition, because me and Chad go together real bad. Okay. We business partners for real. The next thing I would say, number three, is the fear of misuse or wasting time. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is where I had to call people to the carpet. When we consider AI is in its third year, like we're in the third year, we're going to, like, this is 3 years since ChatGPT came on the market and AI really in this leg, really, really got popular. And you really need to sit down with yourself and say, how am I using AI right now? Like, has it gotten not necessarily worse, but is it becoming stagnant, right? Because are we getting overwhelmed by all of the systems? Like, do we have a whole bunch of subscriptions that we need to kind of look through and cancel out if we need to? Most women have seen AI spit out this cold content that's really robotic sounding, and then also overwhelmed with their feed sounding very low value. Like people that used to write, authentically, or even individuals that sound that really did not, create good quality content. It's even worse now, right? So this is another thing I really want you to think about, because when you have a community that loves you and listens to you, you really have to start thinking about, how am I serving that community with my writing, with my content? Do I sound low value? And is AI helping me to succeed in this area? And what are some of the things I need to learn as far as prompt engineering that helps me get better? So it's not like you need another app. You just need AI to learn your voice. Once you get him, whatever you want to call chat, it to learn your voice, then it will understand the brilliance that you bring, and it will make sure that it sounds like you. And so so I want to kind of sum it up. AI does not erase your voice, honey. It scales your message, okay? You are still the source. You are still a creative. You're still someone who wants to see people do very well. There is nothing wrong with any of those things. But ChatGPT or AI can actually support you in your efforts to do just that and collapse time. Because with AI, remember, it was utilized to reduce costs. Remember? That's one of the biggest reasons why AI was invented. And I also think, insert here, we're going to keep this real quiet, but I think it's also a little bit of retaliation against humans that were professionals in these corporate careers, and then these corporations like, we got you humans, agents. We're going to bring in, artificial generative intelligence, and now we're getting ready to work on artificial super intelligence, honey. Let me just say this: you're going to be okay if you learn how to partner with AI instead of making it an enemy. You're going to be fine. And you just need to learn AI as much as possible so that you can do the things that you want to do and be able to have cash flow as a result. And AI is kind of your partner in this. So look at it from a strategic standpoint and learn how to teach other people how to use AI effectively, no matter what you are doing in your business or what you teach in your business. Everybody can infuse AI in some kind of way, fashion, or form. So anyway, if you want to learn how to build your own GPT, definitely look in the description box and grab the expert builder GPT so that you can build your own GPT. And I'm telling you, it's not like the ones that you see on YouTube. It's very, very robust. It's very, very robust because you're actually able to build it on a comprehensive, customized way. And your community is going to appreciate you for it because you're doing this kind of scaling yourself with the GPT. It's absolutely awesome. So I hope you check it out, and it definitely serves you and supports you in your AI journey as we continue to navigate through these waters. It is definitely very, very interesting times we're in. Definitely comment below and let me know what questions do you have with this video. Make sure you subscribe and definitely tell a friend or two to come back to this channel and watch it for themselves because I want us to get this. I don't want anybody left behind. We got this. And until next time, I'll see you.